Last weekend was nuts. It was a week that saw 7 ranked teams lose, including 4 teams that were ranked in the top 10 of the AP poll. It was just carnage every direction you looked, and Pick 6 couldn't escape unscathed. I only went 3-3 last week, though considering how strange things got across the country, I suppose I should be thrilled to break even. But I'm not, and I plan to rectify the situation right now. Games of the week. No. 18 Michigan Wolverines at No. 2 Penn State Nittany Lions. Over 44.5. Let me start right off by saying I hate the point spread in this game, which is why I'm avoiding it entirely. My gut told me to lay the points with Penn State, but my brain is reminding me Michigan won this game by 39 points last season. So a 49-point swing in one season is a bit drastic. And that's why I'm going with the total instead. To be blunt, while there isn't a lot about this game one love from a gambling perspective, that number just seems a little too low and a possible overreaction to Michigan's offensive struggles. It only scored 10 points against Michigan State Spartans in a monsoon when it turned the ball over 5 times. But in its other 5 games, it's averaging 36 points. So I believe this game will be higher scoring than many want to believe. And history suggests I'm right, as 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two have gone over. Furthermore, the last 4 times they played in Happy Valley the game went over. So let's go over again. Penn State 30, Michigan 21, No. 13 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, -3.5, versus No. 11 Southern California Trojans. How good is Notre Dame? It's a question I've wrestled with quite a bit this year. Sure, it hung with Georgia Bulldogs, and it beat Michigan State by 20. But I don't think the Spartans are anything special. As for Notre Dame's other wins, they've come against Temple Owls, the Boston College Eagles, Miami, Ohio, and North Carolina Tar Heels. Hey, good for the Irish. Of course, I have the same kind of doubts about the Trojans, so at least this game will give me a better idea of how good either one is. As for picking the game, I believe Notre Dame's downfall this season will be that it's so one-dimensional on offense. But I don't think it will happen this week because USC's rush defense hasn't been excellent, like Stanford Cardinal before it. I believe the Irish will be able to run on the Trojans. And I don't trust turnover-prone Sam Darnold against an opportunistic Irish defense. Furthermore, if it's trends you want, USC is 0-5 ATS in its last 5 games and 1-4 ATS in its last 5 games against a team above 500. It's also 3-9 ATS in its last 12 road games. Then there's Notre Dame, which has covered in 4 straight and is 4-1 ATS in its last 5 games against teams above 500. Notre Dame 31, USC 24. Lock of the week. No. 20 UCF Knights, -7.5, at Navy Midshipmen. I've reached the point where I'm just going to ride the UCF train until it gives me a reason not to. The Knights have been covering machines this season. Not only are they undefeated against the number this season, but they're covering by an average of 20 points per game. So even if Navy is a good team, and it's a pain in the butt to prepare for, the Knights haven't given me a reason to believe they won't win this easily. UCF 45, Navy 27. Underdog of the week. Texas Longhorns, +7, versus No. 10 Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Longhorns covered against Oklahoma Sooners last week, and I think they're going to cover again this week. Sure, I worry about a possible letdown after a rivalry game, but sometimes you just have to rely on the trends. I mean, when Tom Herman teams have covered 12 straight as an underdog since 2012, it's hard to ignore that. Herman's teams play up to their competition. And I think we'll see it again on Saturday. Oklahoma State 34, Texas 31. Over of the week. Tennessee Volunteers at No. 1 Alabama Crimson Tide. Over 50.5. Listen, I know I'm relying on Alabama here more than anything. I need the Crimson Death Machine to reach the end zone and reach it often because I don't think Tennessee's going to score much, if at all. Of course, I don't believe this Tennessee defense is going to be able to slow down Alabama at all, either. And the Tide is averaging 48.3 points per game against SEC teams. So a field goal from Tennessee would help. But I don't think it'll be necessary. Alabama 52. Tennessee 7. Under of the week. Purdue Boilermakers at Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Under 47.5. Rutgers and Purdue have played 3 Big Ten games apiece. They are scoring 17, 3 and 16.7 points per game respectively in those contests. That includes Rutgers scoring 35 points against Illinois Fighting Illini last week, and Purdue putting up 31 against Minnesota Golden Gophers. Purdue has the better offense in this game, but both teams have defenses that are good enough to slow the other down. And I don't foresee many fireworks in this one. Purdue 24, Rutgers 13.